Africa Investor Today is proudly brought to you in association with Petro SA and Afrexim Bank.
Hello and welcome to Africa Investor Today, where we bring you all the latest African business news from around our continent. We start today with politics and economy. On Sunday, Zimbabwean Prime Minister Morgan Tsvangirai complained that his unity government deal with President Robert Mugabe was not being implemented, and he appealed for South Africa to help. At a MDC rally, he stressed that the real problem was not about the conflict. The real problem was about implementing the global political agreement. He further said South Africa needed to stay involved. Tsvangirai and his MDC boycotted the unity government in October, complaining about the non-implementation of the unity deal. But they rejoined the government after the Southern African Development Community, the guarantors of the agreement, promised to mediate. Negotiators from Tsvangirai's MDC, Mugabe's ZANU-PF and smaller factions of the MDC are still in talks on how to resolve the disputes in line with the SADC recommendations. The outstanding issues being contested after are the appointments of senior civil servants, who include the central bank governor, the attorney general and provincial governors, as well as the removal of sanctions. The Commonwealth has admitted French-speaking Rwanda as its 54th member in the latest expansion of the diverse group of mostly former British colonies. The decision to let the Central African country join was taken by leaders of the Commonwealth, which is headed by Britain's Queen Elizabeth, at a summit in Trinidad and Tobago. Rwanda's accession to the Commonwealth has been widely anticipated, despite objections voiced by some human rights groups that questioned whether the country met the required standards of the political freedom and human rights. With that, we'll take a short break and more news after this.
Redefining energy means redefining life. At the Petroleum, Oil and Gas Corporation of South Africa, our commitment to greater innovation and greener fuels has made us pioneers in the field of gas-to-liquids technology. It has also earned us worldwide recognition for producing the cleanest fuels through environmentally friendly processes. That's how we've become the international leader in diesel technology. Through pure innovation, pure energy, pure brilliance.
On to companies and markets now. Pan-African microfinancier Blue Financial Services share price surged up to 8.2% to 79 cents following the release of a trading statement warning of a 162.3 million rand loss for the 6 months to August 31st. The loss translated into a basic loss of 27.07 rand per share and a headline loss of 27.11 rand per share. The group is scheduled to release its interim results today. The share price gain stood out on Friday, on a day when most shares on the JSE declined. The share price hit a low of 42 cents year-to-date earlier last week after Blue indicated it expected to make a loss. The share had fallen from 2.43 rand on July the 14th. De Beers expected banks to renew its $1.5 billion or 11 billion rand debt facility before it came due in March. De Beers spokeswoman Lynette Gold said, "We'll be ready to make an announcement earlier in the new year." De Beers posted a 99% plunge in first half net profit in July due to tough markets, but said it would not need any more shareholder loans. Gold declined to comment on a report by news agency Bloomberg, saying that the De Beers discussed with shareholders the possibility of selling a stake ahead of the March deadline due to refinance the facility. We'll take a short break and bring you more news after this. Stay with us.
Afrexim Bank is Africa's leading trade finance bank, an organization dedicated to promoting African trade through credit, risk-bearing and advisory services. We pride ourselves on having local presence throughout the continent and are committed to extending our award-winning trade and project finance programs to unlock private sector development continent-wide. We invite you to become a part of our vision for a strong Africa in a changing world. If you trade within Africa, contact us to support you.
In banking and finance news, Angola has given the go-ahead for Standard Bank to start operating in the oil-producing nation as a full-service bank. The Council of Ministers has authorized the constitution of Standard Bank de Angola to act as a universal bank, dictating itself to retail and investment operations. Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe Governor Dr. Gideon Gono has issued a stern warning to banks on their continuing reluctance to extend loans to the productive sectors of the economy. The central bank chief also took a swipe at banking institutions for charging high and exorbitant bank charges, commissions and penal lending. Dr. Gorner was addressing bankers, the mining sector and journalists at the central bank last Friday. He said some foreign-owned banks are holding on to large sums of cash and were failing to extend loans to the productive sectors of the economy. Continuation of the current unsustainable state of affairs in the financial sector, Dr. Gorner warned, will force the central bank to introduce appropriate measures to achieve the desired outcome. Zambian banks' lending rates are expected to keep falling thanks to a return of foreign investors to government securities and the opening of a new commercial bank. According to Central Bank Governor Caleb Fungana, foreign investors now account for 4 to 5% of the government's weekly treasury bill auctions, up from zero at the height of the global financial crisis in the last quarter of 2008 and the first quarter of this year. We'll have infrastructure news after this.
Africa Investor, the leading African investment magazine, is essential reading for investors in Africa, filled with the very latest in Pan-African investment and finance news. In addition, log on to africa-investor.com to find out more about our exciting capital market, infrastructure and tourism events, and our long-standing investable Africa Investor 100 Index series, which tracks over $600 billion of African equities. Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.
Finally, now Zimbabwe's government is working on a national infrastructure master plan to cover current needs, medium-term solutions and long-term vision. The infrastructure cluster and interministerial coalition met in the capital last week and dissected cross-cutting issues pertaining to infrastructure, maintenance, rehabilitation and development. Deputy Prime Minister Arthur Mutambara is leading the process of crafting of the country's new infrastructure master plan. DPM Mutambara said government was trying to create an atmosphere that encourages cohesion and maximization of synergies in all sectors. Infrastructure, cabling, structural support and galvanizing company Oline is targeting Canadian and Australian mining companies in Mozambique, Angola and Ghana. CEO Graham Smarts last week said the three countries provided the group with opportunities, especially in the building of refineries, ports, roads and commercial buildings. Oline has been working on intensifying its presence elsewhere in Africa to benefit from development on the continent. Oline provides a range of products that support infrastructure development, from cable management and structural support systems to galvanizing, construction products, road safety products and signage. The group declared a maiden dividend of 5 cents per share. And that's all we have time for today. Do join us again tomorrow for more news. Remember to log on to www.africa-investor.com. Bye for now.
Africa Investor Today is proudly brought to you in association with Petro SA and Afrexim Bank.